This is Chelsea Schaefer, and this is Season 4 of The Score. You all have listened to this podcast 750,000 times, and we are here in Season 4 to bring you even more of what you love.
Team roping fans, watch USTRC National Finals live on RidePass. Go to welcome.ridepass.com/team roping now to purchase your all-access pass to stream the NFTR. For only $24.99, you can watch every round live on demand. That's welcome.ridepass.com/team roping. Or visit the USTRC website and look for the RidePass link. Hey guys, it's Kaitlin Gustave, and today on this episode of The Short Score, brought to you by RidePass, we have the one, the only, Dru Stewart. Dru joined me on this episode to cover some questions that everyone might be asking about the U.S. finals that are coming up. That's the Cinch USTRC National Finals that are happening in Fort Worth, Texas. That's coming up soon. That kicks off on April 26th through May 2nd. Starting with the Open, you guys, we're going to talk about that. The Open did move to the first day of the finals, so I'm not going to talk too much. Let's let Dru tell us what we got to keep our eyes out, keep our ears open for. Enjoy. Hey everyone, I got Dru Stewart here with me on this episode of The Short Score, and we are talking all things U.S. finals, which are happening in Fort Worth, Texas. Dru, we can't wait to see you out there. Are you prepared for the U.S. finals?
I don't know if there's any preparing for the U.S. finals this year. I think it is going to be completely off the chain, to be honest. I think it's going to be a huge rope, and so everybody's pretty excited, that's for sure.
Definitely. I know you guys are still busy getting everything set up. Everyone's super busy cramming everything in. Going into it, what can ropers expect, or what do we need to know about the U.S. finals?
Well, there's a couple things that to really point out here up front. First of all is the open roping. It was advertised, it was kicked out that it was on Wednesday, and what happened is Guyman Slack ended up being on Wednesday, so we didn't want the ropers to have to make that choice, and so the Gold Buckle Beer Open is going to kick the whole U.S. finals off on the 26th. Pretty much everything's going to be the same there. Entries will close at 12:30 for the Open. We'll be roping right at 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the biggest changes, or that's the biggest change for sure. Entries, online and phone-in entries are still open. All the discounts were pretty much past the earned discounts time, but if guys want to call in and get your entries taken care of before you get there, it would be awesome to do that. The other big thing is stalls right now, and Fort Worth has a bazillion stalls. We're not going to run out, but if you get your stall forms in, or if you can either go online when you enter, and there's a button right when you're entering that says order stalls. You can either do it online, or you can call the office, or you can send in your paperwork. We have to have that by this Friday, the 15th. So tax deadline day is also stall deadline day. So
everyone mark it down.
Everybody mark it down. That's one we'll all remember. So get your stalls, and all that does is just makes it easier when you check in. And for those of you that have been to Fort Worth and been to the Will Rogers, it's you know the role. For those of you that haven't been to the U.S. finals before, or mainly the Will Rogers, it can be kind of a maze in there if you have never been. It's a little bit confusing, and so getting your stalls ahead of time means that you'll pull right in basically to your stalls and unload. You won't have to go park and find the stall office and be wondering where your stalls are. It doesn't seem like a big deal until you get there. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, man, I wish I would have got my stalls.
Yeah,
So I would say that. I know that's kind of the business end of things, but I mean, I think it's going to be just a great roping. I really, really do, Kayla. I think it's going to be, we're getting our stimulus checks in the mail, and there's nothing better to spend it on than team rope. So
right, I know. I feel like everyone's ready to be going and jackpotting more, which I know no one stopped jackpotting, but that's definitely going to be the spot to be, is in Fort Worth.
It definitely is, and I think it's very cool to see the USTRC coming back so strong, and the ropings. The last few years the finals have been great, and Fort Worth is going to be awesome. We're going to rope the first one in the John Justin Arena to just kind of let the guys know about what it's going to look like. Well, the John Justin's going to be the main arena. It's not going to be the Will Rogers. The Will Rogers is just going to be jackpots. So we'll rope our first one in the John Justin. We'll go right outside of that cool covered pavilion they have. So basically, you'll just go 1, 2, 2 and 3 outside, and then we'll run the short rounds in the John Justin. So you get to run them inside and outside. April, May weather in Texas is going to be beautiful. So, I think we're going to have a great rope. And I know I'm probably missing about a bazillion things, but
No,
it's a team rope, and it's going to be awesome.
And so, just so everyone understands, and correct me if I'm wrong, so where's John Just Arena, first roping, the first run, and then where they had the jackpots last year at the U.S. Finals, that is now the second arena.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. I know I've had a few people kind of bring it up recently, so yeah, that's good to know for everyone, so they're not trucking all the way to that other indoor Will Rogers. And
yeah, don't go to the Will Rogers for your second and third one, because you'll be right in the middle of somebody else's jackpot. So Troy's got his ropings too up in Decatur at NRS. NRS, of course, a big time partner with the USTRC, and so those ropings are going to be great. They're going to be a few days before, and so everybody ease on up to NRS. Those are going to be great ropings. Troy always putting on great ropings. That'll be the 22nd through the 25th, and all that at NRS, and then from there we'll just ease down to Fort Worth and get after it.
Definitely. And I guess lastly, for people that are roping and multiple ropings, need a place to stay, where can they stay? Hotels, hookups? Is there what accommodations are there for ropers?
Everything you just said. So go online. If you go to ustrc.com, there's a tab that has the finals, and hotels is underneath there. And I think there's 5 host hotels, and I think it might be narrowed down to 4 right now, just because they're filling up pretty fast. So, and whenever you call them or email them, best thing to do is just pick up the phone and call them now. And they are, I'm not just trying to sell a bill of goods here, they are filling up. Like, one of them is legit full right now. And just tell them that you're with USTRC. They've got great roper rates. So those rates are, in some cases, like $60-$70 off. So do that. And then if you've got a trailer, like I'm going to be staying in my trailer, and they've got RV spots right there. So RV spots, hotels, pitch a tent in the parking lot, whatever you need to do.
Definitely. Yeah, they got you all set up there. Tons to do in Fort Worth.
Tons to do in Fort Worth. And I mean, for those ropers, like I said, that are coming in that haven't been to Fort Worth, outside of the rope, and Fort Worth is such a cool town. I mean, you've been down, the Stockyards is completely redone right now, and it's just awesome. It's a great place if you want to sneak away. It's a short drive over to the north side. Check out the Stockyards. There's so much to do. Fort Worth is such a fun town. So I'm excited to go down, and we're just a few hours away. So
yeah, definitely. I know it's dang sure going to be a fun time for everyone.
Absolutely. So I guess the biggest thing is for phone-in entries and online entries. We're going to close those down the 23rd. After that, just enter on site. So guys and gals are more than welcome to just enter on site. But what happens, the reason we close them down the 23rd is because everybody's going to be on the road heading to Fort Worth after that. So
yes. 100%, that is correct. Awesome. Well, hopefully everyone got enough information from this episode, and if not, surely we'll be back with more news.
I think so. I think it's going to be a great rope, and sure excited to see everybody at the USTRC finals. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Drew, so much.
Absolutely, my dear. Thanks for reaching out to me.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
All right, we'll see ya.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of The Short Score, and thank you Dru Stu for covering the what's what of the Cinch USTRC National Finals that are happening in Fort Worth, Texas.